Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. I am joined again by my co-host Nick Barr, and we are discussing the second half season preview, whatever you want to say, the second half of the season. We were just happy that the Bulls will be playing tonight. You're going to see this on Thursday. We're recording Wednesday night. They're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks, which we might as well just jump right into it here, and then I'll kick it over to Nick. We got 23 games left. I like how they do the All-Star break, by the way, like the back half of the season.
Yeah.
If you disagree on that.
I like it too.
Yeah, I think it's in a good spot. I think they do a great job. It's just long enough, give the guys a break before the long stretch. So we currently sit at 38 and 21. We do have the second hardest schedule remaining. And we have, I believe it. So I counted with my fingers. So if I am one or two off, just, please let me know. You can be as mean as you want in the comments. We play 14 games against teams over 500. So not 14 teams over 500 because there's a couple double ups. Nick's going to get into that in a second here. But we have 14 of the 23 games are against teams right now that have a record over 500. I assume that means they're all playoff teams as well. So Nick, break it down for us, my man. What can we look forward to? How can we, just finish this thing strong?
Yeah. Well, like you said, Tony, I think it's kind of cool that we're more than halfway through. Of course, we probably could have used let's see, with all our injuries and stuff, and maybe having it at the actual half of the season would have been nice, but whatever. So with that being said, health is obviously our biggest kind of concern as we move forward. With 23 games left, that doesn't give a lot of time for, guys that are currently injured to get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to be interested to see how guys get back into game shape, like specifically Lonzo and Caruso. But honestly, if Lonzo and Caruso return to the playing shape that they were in before being injured, again, Tony, I don't see why we can't be in the top of these Eastern Conference standings. So now there is, like you said, second hardest schedule standing in the way of that. So quite a big hill to overcome. So just a few notes about the scheduling. So the Bulls have 3 games left against the Bucks, and I feel like the Bucks are kind of like us, where they've had to kind of gel later, play with injuries. So I think they're only going to get better. So that's a good challenge for us. We got 2 games against the Heat and the Cavs. So both, 2 teams, but again, both kind of improving. The Heat kind of improved over the deadline. Cavs have just been honestly impressing everyone. I think it's been easy to say the Bulls were a good story this year, but the Cavs, I got to give it to you, man. They're really fun to watch. And then
real quick, we are a long way away from, what was it, the first preseason game when we beat them by 75,
oh my God,
140 to 90 or whatever that crazy score was. And obviously none of their players were playing. But I shout out to them. They've had a great season, and I'm happy they're doing it in spite of LeBron and, all that.
Agreed.
And try to trade all these guys that they now ended up drafting, but that's a different story. So Nick, sorry, continue.
Yes, no, agreed. I think that needs to be said no matter what. And then we got 1 each against the Suns, Jazz, Grizzlies, Celtics, and 76ers. So the reason why those teams you want to highlight is just that we haven't done super well against the teams currently near the top, and that's of both the Western and Eastern Conference. So, 0-2 against the Heat, 0-3 against the 76ers, 0-1 against the Bucks. Should have had that one. 1-1 versus the Cavs. And then we're 0-1 versus the Suns, 0-2 versus the Warriors, 0-1 versus the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, another team only getting better, I think. So there's some notable, obviously some really important games here in the final 23. So I think the biggest thing to note, Tony, so not only, yes, are we playing teams majority over 500, but we're playing them multiple times. And so the only games that we're not going to be playing a team the only time we're not going to be playing games against teams over 500 are against a game against Kings, 2 games against the Hawks. So that's 3. Game against the Pistons, game against the Pelicans, Knicks, Hornets, and Clippers. So that's 8 games. And You got a couple in there like the Hawks who are barely under 500. Hornets, I don't really consider them under 500. I think that's another team that's going to just get better. So again, man, this is, we have our work cut out for us, but I truly want to hammer home that if P Will, if he's back for the last 10 games and we see him having an impact right away, if Lonzo and Caruso have an impact right away mid-March, I mean, Tony, I see no reason why we can't be in the top 3 of the Eastern Conference standings with ease. Would you agree with that or disagree? That's what I need to ask you.
I completely agree with you. I do. So I will note, I believe then we play 13 games against teams above 500 because I think I said, oh, wait. No, that'll be 6. No, because there's 9, right? Yeah, 14 and 23. Dude, did I nail that? Okay, cool. Never mind. I rescind my potential rescinding. So I do believe that we can not only finish strong because I when you were going through the records, I really didn't realize, I guess, just how bad we played against good teams, just to put it bluntly. But, if you think specifically about some of those games, that Grizzlies game that was on MLK Day, I mean, I don't know if we had a starter and for that game.
Right.
The Warriors is probably the one where it was like, the first Warriors one was where it was really like, damn, because we were coming off, I think, a 9-game win streak or something crazy, and they just absolutely blew our doors off. But that as well was right at the beginning of the season before these guys are now all best friends. So I think we can kind of figure it out down the stretch. We definitely need to get guys back. That is first and foremost the most important thing. I think you could agree on that for sure. That's really, I think we could do it. I really think we do. I love this team. I really think we can do it.
I do too. And honestly, Tony, I really, like, of course I want to get first place in the East, but for some reason, like, what's getting me the most angry is, like, I just want people to know that despite, basically every other contender getting better in free agency, there was a reason why we weren't making moves. And we'll talk about this in a second, but I want that to be proven, because now it's like, so I think the Bulls were already kind of underappreciated, and now we're almost being pushed lower and lower for expectations just because the teams around us have gotten better. So it's almost like it's pushed our credibility even lower, even though we kind of already started under the radar. No one thought we were supposed to do this, blah, blah, blah. So, hey, let it be motivation. Let it be motivation.
I think one other thing, and then we'll move on to free agency, is I think the other thing that is making, I guess, like, analysts and just different people, not just doubt, I guess, because obviously you can doubt a team that hasn't played with any of their players all year. I kind of get that, but I guess underrate us. Fair. Basically say, because we're saying, oh, once we get our guys back, we're going to be good. And they're like, oh, okay, sure, whatever.
Right.
It's just been so long, and we've still won a bunch of games. We've stayed in first. So now when we lose to, like, if we go out against the Bucks next week, let's say we don't get Caruso back and we don't have Lonzo back, right? Because I know they're kind of getting in that range here where they should start to come back. And they blow our doors off because we just kind of didn't have the defense that Caruso brings. We didn't, maybe Io doesn't have a great night. Kobe doesn't have a great night. Right. People are going to be like, okay, Bulls are bad. That's it. Bulls are just bad. We don't have everyone back yet. It's so annoying to say it over and over. And I think people are sick of hearing it. Like, sure.
Fair enough.
It's just true. They're just out a long time, man. It's, it's not our fault. Like, I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. So I want to, once everyone comes back, and P will, I know that'll be at the end of the season, so I'll just count it being Caruso and Lonzo. Once they come back, I want to give it 5 games probably, and then reassess. Because obviously, they got to get their legs back under them. Everyone's got to gel again. 5 games. Agreed. And if all of a sudden it's just like, wow, we're still getting really exposed on defense, maybe Caruso doesn't play the same defense he does, whatever the reason is, then we'll hit the panic button. This will be a much different tone to this podcast for sure. So
Agreed.
Before we get into our final topic here, we'd like to thank our sponsor, The Bench Mob. The Bench Mob was started in 2010 and has reemerged in 2021 to represent the best bench players in the league. To get your Bench Mob merch, head over to the link in our description. Use code J20, JAY20 for 20% off your order. They got some awesome stuff. Shy Slamma Jamma stuff. I said the other Nick earlier, I was like, I cannot wait because they're sending us some shirts. Cannot wait to get them. So, speaking of Bench Mob, Perfect, actually. Perfect way to transition in. We did make a roster move, and hell of a timing for the Bulls to make a roster, just like during, what was it, the 3-point contest or whatever. Yeah. So this is our only move, right? Yeah. So this is the only thing that I'm aware of. Alfonso McKinney, unfortunately, we'll start with that, had to be let go of to make space on the team. Shout out the Chicago kid. Sounded like he loved, just the opportunity to play for his hometown team. Very cool stuff. Unfortunately, we got a lot of guards. We got a lot of small, like, guys under just 6'7", basically. So
he'll find a home, man. That's a good player right there.
I completely agree. I think we were an unfortunate team because we are so deep in our depth.
Yeah,
like that's what kind of hurt him. So I agree with you. But we did sign someone. We signed Tristan Thompson. We signed the ladies' man, Tristan Thompson. We signed him to the Bulls. He's in Chicago. Nick, what do you think? Well, is this help, hurt? What do you think?
It's a tough one, man. Okay.
It is. I agree.
It's tough. I think when you hear about it on the surface, you're like, oh, this is awesome, right? Like, because it's a household name for maybe the wrong reasons, maybe the right reasons, depending on how you look at it. But so I think that gets people excited too. Just the whole big name thing, even just the fact that he was a really good player at one point, people always get excited about. Now you gotta assess the situation for what it is currently. So currently we're looking at a Tristan Thompson bringing in, about six points a game, 5 rebounds this season. He's bounced around a bit. He's coming from the Pacers right now. And then I just want to think about our current backup to the wonderful Nikola Vucevic, Tony Bradley, who has been struggling a little bit, which is why we made this move. He's averaging 3.1 points per game, 3.7 rebounds. So it's tough to look at it on paper and be like, this is the only piece we needed. Like, this will take us to the top, because that's just unrealistic. But did we need this piece? Yes. Do I think he will fill it as good as anyone that we could have gotten in that market? Yes, I really do. Of course, there's, I hope he doesn't bring any distractions. Okay. I hate to be that guy, but the chemistry is just so good. These boys just love each other. I mean, so just as long as we can do that, I think it'll be good.
I think the distractions thing is a fair point. When you're with, obviously, with was it Khloe Kardashian, when you're with someone that public and that famous, it's kind of hard to totally just like let's not even talk about it. I mean, they're the most famous people in the world, arguably. So hopefully it's all good. Hopefully it's all, even if it's not all behind them, live your personal life, dude. I don't care. Whatever. It's as long as you play it. People have done, not to stand up for anything he's done here. People have done worse things. I can get over it if he can keep up 5 rebounds a game, fine with it. If he can just slow Joel Embiid down for like 4 minutes while Vooch rests, I'll forgive him completely. He is all over there. Yeah. I always see, Instagram reels, whatever it is, videos, different stuff coming out about, and it's not even salacious anymore. It's just old stuff trying to go reviral. So whatever. I think it'll be fine. If LeVar Ball hasn't caused a stir yet, I mean, what could the Kardashians, what could they even do? They're busy with other stuff anyway.
I agree. They got a new season coming out. I think it's like the 14th season or something.
Well, it's actually technically a new show. They stopped their show and then we're like, this is it. This is the last season. And then they're just back immediately with a new show on Hulu. I just saw this like 5 hours ago.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Twitter.
That's the
Twitter.com. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. So essentially, yes, I think we're both excited because, I love Tony Bradley, man. I never want to tell a guy who's way better at what he does for a living than me what to do. But I think we can all admit we've kind of been holding our breath when Vooch is not on the floor. And it's not like he's like a total force on defense. That just shows you how much of a drop off we have and kind of almost a liability when we don't have a solid big man on the court. And like you said, we're guard heavy. We're not really concerned about that position, but I think we went after the one thing that we needed, essentially. And to the rest of it, chemistry's booming. Screw it. This is my team. I love this team. Let's keep moving.
I agree. My last final comment is maybe it's time to take a good hard look at baby coup coach Marko Simonovic. Dude is tearing it up down there.
Yes, he is.
So I'll have to get out to the Windy City Bulls game. It's right down the street from me, basically. That's
what we gotta do.
But either way, maybe we'll go make
scout
a video,
him out,
or even just heckle him a little. Just thicken his skin up for the NBA. We'll figure.
Who knows?
It out.
Once this new Kardashian season drops, something might happen. Maybe Tristan's not going to be able to contribute. Then we got to go pull baby coup coach again.
Yeah, maybe we'd rather have those distractions though than people picking at other parts of our team chemistry, other parts of maybe Lonzo or
fair.
Patrick Williams coming back. So who knows? Maybe it'll actually be like the verbal meme here, and then I'll end the show, because if you're still listening, you're an absolute hero and a saint.
Legend.
Verbal meme. Tristan Thompson will be like the soldier taking all the knives and like the bombs, and what'll be us and the Bulls and their chemistry just sleeping in that bed.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, that's for sure the end of this episode. So thank you everyone for joining. That'll do it for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host Nick Barr. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Till next time, Bulls fans, keep seeing red.